Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made my Peach PRC Halloween costume. So to start out here, I've got some wire cutters, and of course a sleeping baby next to me to keep me company. I've also got my little test run that I did here, so let me just show you that real quick. I thought this was going to be a lot harder than it was. It actually was super easy and turned out exactly the way I wanted it. So let me show you what I did. This test run worked out so well, it's actually becoming a part of the final draft. I can just remove this plastic to like redo the glitter part, but this frame is perfect, so I want an identical one that goes on the other side. So I'm literally just gonna shape this piece of wire that I cut off here exactly the same. Like I want to bend in the same places that I bent in here so that I have 2 of these exactly. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I need 4 of these because she has sort of like a double wing effect going on where she has 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. For the smaller one, I made it just a little bit more than half of the length and width of the larger ones. And then I need 4 of these as well. I like the exact layout that I had these specific pieces in, so I'm just pulling them from the bottom and labeling them, you know, numerically. That way when I place them down, I know like this is the first one, this is the second one, third, fourth, and so on, so that as I'm like working more with them, I don't lose the order. In order to decorate these wings, I grabbed a couple of supplies from Walmart. I got this spray adhesive and this really pretty glitter. It's got like pinks, but also like blue and green in it. So good. It was literally the only one left of this color too. And so, oh, I'm making a mess. It was the only one left of this color, and so I snatched it up. And then of course I've also got the cling wrap. I think this probably came from the dollar store. I've had it in my house forever. I don't even use this stuff, so finally it's, I guess, going to use. I did a little test run with the actual products I'm gonna use. Oh yeah, that is gonna look so good. I've got a little table set up here that's the right size, that it's gonna be just a little bit longer on either side than the size of the largest wing. So what I'm gonna do is just basically roll a sheet of the plastic sheet out from this side to this side of the table. Once I had that plastic sheet laid out, I put my wing outline on top of it, and then I just alternated between the spray adhesive and the glitter to just fill the entire wing outline in with glitter. Once I felt it was sufficiently glittered, I put another piece of the plastic wrap on top, just straightened everything out, and pushed that down to really adhere that to the bottom layer. Now I'm going to just trim off a lot of the excess around the side here. Now I want to seal these edges with a lighter here. I'm just going to very gently I accidentally burnt a little too much in the edge here, and there was like a little hole, so I just took an extra piece of plastic, and genuinely, what, on camera you can't even tell. Oh yeah, like that you can kind of tell that I put an extra piece of plastic over it to cover the hole, just sort of like gently melted it on there, same way I was doing. Perfect, perfect. Also, battle scars from the lighter. Take breaks if you're gonna use the, can you even see? Take breaks if you're gonna use a lighter, because I got a mad blister on my thumb. To attach the different pieces of wing together, I'm going to use this thinner, more malleable wire and some wire cutters, and I'm going to start just by adding 2, and then I'll add another 2, and then I'll do the other larger set, and then I'll put all 8 of them together all at the end. And to attach these two separate pieces, I've got this extra wire here. I'm just gonna bind around those with that same like skinny pliable wire. And lastly, I put this crafting mesh over all the wire just to make it look nice. Figuring out how to attach these wings to me. So what I did was took a piece of wire, shaped it into a U shape, and then just sort of like U-turned the wire back around and twisted my way back around to this side. It's still not quite sturdy enough, I don't think. So I'm gonna like add some more so that this is very thick and sturdy. Okay, I think 4 layers is gonna do the trick. I think that's thick enough and strong enough. I made it extra long right here. It's only gonna be like about that long, but I left all of this on either side so that I could use this to attach it to the wings. So I didn't think that through fully when I put that crafting mesh on here. We're not done working with the wire. So I took that back off and I'll put it on when we're like completely done with wire. So basically what we're looking at here is, I think it has to be something like this. That way we have that bottom part there, and then I can wrap these two parts around here to secure it to the wings. I need to put some sort of padding and covering right here even before I put that crafting mesh though, because these wires, I don't want them like potentially scratching my back or anything like that. So I'm gonna just take like some random scrap fabric that I have and put like some padding in here. Just cut the strip off that bottom of the t-shirt, folded it so that it was 8 layers thick, and now I'm just gonna fold it over and sew it like that. Okay, I've got that sewed in there, and yes, that is a little bit of my blood. Now let's add that crafting mesh back on top so it looks nice. Okay, I connected all the crafting mesh. It doesn't look very good in the back. I barely had enough, but no one's gonna see that, so it's okay. I'm not in love with this part overall, but I think they turned out great as a whole, so I like it. Lastly, I just took some of that spray adhesive and connected these 2 wings and then these 2 wings together, these large parts right here, so that these front wings didn't flap forward as much, and now it's got much more support and they stay up properly. Let's try them on. Great, so with the wings done, I'm gonna move on and start thinking about some of the other components of the costume. Okay, now I'm gonna start thinking about the leg and arm pieces she wears. So I thrifted this baby pink sheet, and we're gonna use this to make the base of the legs and arms. So I just ended up cutting 2 identical rectangles. It's wide enough this way to go around the top of my thigh with just a little bit of room on each side so I can sew it together. This way though, I'm probably going to end up trimming it, but I left it long because I think that I want to probably fold it over and add elastic along the inside so that it stays up well. But I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go, so I left it a little bit long. I ended up making the legs just about half as long as I originally had them, so they're only going to go up to about halfway instead of all the way up like she does, but don't worry, I've got a plan. But basically what I did was just take the square of fabric, sew it down the middle so that it's a tube. Then I added elastic around the top and then hemmed the bottom. I then did that exact same thing again to make 2 little arm wrist cuffs, whatever you would call them. And then I did the exact same thing to make the skirt and the shirt. I just sewed it down the side, hemmed anything that needed to. And also while I had it on, I marked where I want to add the straps to my shirt. To do the straps, I've got 2 pieces of the fabric. I'm going to lay them on top and cut together because I want them identical. This is long enough that I want my strap to be, and also as wide as the widest part of my strap. So I'm going to fold this in half. I'll do it like perfectly when I don't have a camera in one hand. But basically what I want is a triangle at both the top and the bottom, and then a strap. So if I just cut here and down, and then here and down, that should result in what I want. I forgot to show the straps before I sewed them on, but I've got it turned inside out so that you could see the idea here. Triangle into a strap into a triangle, and then I just sewed those on. Her outfit isn't just pink though, it's got like white sparkly aspects to it, so that's where this sparkly white tulle is gonna come in. I was originally just gonna cover the entire thing as tulle, tuck it under and sew it, but it just occurred to me that that'll have the tulle touching my skin on the inside, and I definitely don't want that. So instead, what we're gonna do is just leave a little border here at the top where I don't tuck it over. So I'm just gonna start measuring from here, see how, you know, measure how long I need this way. And I'm also gonna stretch this elastic and then measure it stretched. That way, you know, the tulle is long enough that I could still stretch the elastic after I add it. So I've got a layer of that tooling on, and then now I'm just going around and trimming off the excess parts. The skirt and the shirt are done. When I sewed this onto the skirt, I tried to like keep it stretched so that we didn't lose any elasticity in the elastic by sewing this on, but we did anyways. I definitely should have probably attached this to the fabric before I put any of the elastic in. So now I'm thinking for the arm and leg cuffs, if we lose any of the elasticity at all, they won't fit. The way that the skirt is still okay, I can still wear it, but if these lose any at all, I won't be able to. So I'm gonna have to come up with something a little bit different to do with these. To do the legs and the arms, I ended up just basically going far enough down to where the fabric doesn't scrunch up anymore and start adding the tulle there. And I did it sort of in rows so that it could have these, like this bunched wavy effect. And then I didn't realize though that I couldn't necessarily do that same effect on the smaller arm pieces because they don't fit around my sewing machine, and it was much more difficult to do this bunching thing when I was sewing by hand on these ones than with the machine. So this one ended up flat and these ones ended up bunched. Preferably they would both be bunched, but it's fine. I don't know if there's even enough lighting in here for you to actually see the sparkle. If not, I'll give you a proper look in a minute. For now, we're gonna move on to adding the white ribbons and bows. And then I'm also gonna need to get some white or pink bottoms because these black ones that I have on underneath are not really the vibe. So my first thought, of course, was to just buy spools of ribbon, but then I realized if I just use this white fabric I have and sew strips of it, that makes this part free to me, so I'm gonna do it that way. I meant to show you this piece before I sewed it on, but I completely forgot. So I basically just cut a strip of this white fabric, folded it in half, sewed it, and then flipped it, you know, right side out. And then I just wrapped it around and just sewed it along the bottom. Again, not to mess with the elasticity. So I just sewed it around the bottom, tied it into a cute little bow, and then just put a few stitches in to hold this bow in place. Then I did the same thing around the top of the legs. Lastly, for the outfits, I added these leg straps attached to a waist belt, partially because she has white straps that go up her leg, and this kind of plays to that look, but mostly just because this is going to hold them up so I don't have to be pulling these up all night. Of the outfit are going to be hair, or in my case, wig. She has a long, curly, pink wig with 2 little pigtails at the top, and I went ahead and added the butterfly details that I wore to the show that I'm basing this whole outfit off of. So even though it technically goes off script a little bit, I think it fits. She does technically have accessories on her little pigtails too, but it just doesn't quite look like this, but I love it. And then of course, some pink sparkle makeup. Let's put the outfit and the wings on and do the final costume reveal. I am so excited. Thank you so much for watching. If you like that video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.